What was your worst fight?
The worst fight that we've had. Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, good water.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Letemi Sofei Umwami. I am with my amazing, incredible husband, Accent King Umwami, who is drinking a glass of water at this moment and staying hydrated in this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. Guys, thank you for hydrated, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. To everybody who has been subscribing and liking and sharing our video, always. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming back, guys. We really appreciate you guys. And if it is your first time that you are here, please subscribe, share the video, give this video a thumbs up. So we've been talking about our first. Can you give me a glass of water? So I've been sharing about our first year of marriage, and we've been just going, tracking back on how we met and everything, and you know the trials and tribulations that we've encountered. And today on this video, we will be talking about
the highlights.
Da-da-da-dun.
The highlights.
Da-da-da-dun-da-dun.
Yeah. Let's talk about. Of course, we had fights, right? And I think that's what makes our first year of marriage is when you look back at it and go like, I don't want to go back there. It was the intense fights. Let's talk about what are the three things that you feel like caused those fights?
I think the three things that caused those fights was the lack of preparation for marriage. Especially from my side, you know, I had not really prepared myself for marriage in terms of.
So I was joking when I said I'm married. That was just a joke.
All right, baby. Thank you. It wasn't a joke, babe. In terms of being a wife, you know, I think I wasn't prepared. I know that I was ready, but because I wasn't prepared, I thought I wasn't ready. Do you get it? And at that moment, I think I approached marriage from a very ignorant perspective, and I went in there with some really bad experiences and expectations, and I just had not made myself ready for marriage. So I think the lack of preparation and the lack of readiness from my side, because it was up until I got in marriage where I could actually, where Accent really played a role in finding me mentors, people that I could look up to in terms of marriage. You know, when we got married and we're talking about marriage, I really didn't see the importance of mentors. I didn't really understand the whole concept of why you must have people you look up to and everything. I just knew to know you're just gonna do things your own way, and you know, right and everything. So I think that lack of preparation made me approach marriage from an ignorant perspective. And I came in there still thinking I'm still his girlfriend, and I didn't come in prepared to be a wife. You know, it's important that you and your husband are friends and girlfriends. That is very important. You shouldn't lose that. But it's also very important.
Yes.
Guys.
Very important.
But it's also very important to know that you are playing an elevated role in his life as a wife, and not just only a partner,
That's true. That's very
a
true.
girlfriend. So I think my lack of preparation, because you know we would fight, and I would just say things that a girlfriend would say.
But also more than just lack of preparation, my love, because you know, you and me, we always say this. None of us have been married before. You know, this is our first attempt. This is the first time. So we can only do our best to prepare. You know, you can never be 100% ready for anything that you are attempting for the first time. you know. But I think, and that's what we all just came in with, yeah, you know, because you know there is a part of you that knew what you were getting yourself into. And most probably when we got into it and we had to now swim through the reality of what marriage is, not what a wedding is after preparation or what an engagement is. Of course, you realized, okay, there are a few things that I thought would go this way, but now they are on this stage. Maybe, I think the thing that is very fundamental when it comes to the first year of marriage that you find a lot of people say maybe it's hard and all that is our expectations inside the marriage, you know, because you came with your expectations, I came with my expectations, and you find our expectations were not always matching.
Communicated
Yes.
as well, you know. You expect a person to do so much, mara awukazimtshela ukuthi enzeni.
Yes, unspoken expectations.
Unspoken expectations.
Where you're waiting for a person, you know, to act in a certain way. For example, we know that in marriage a man must love his wife.
Yes.
But that love is not generic. It's subjective. You have a way you want to be loved.
Yes.
And until you are able to tell me this is how I define love, because there is love and then there is the substance of love. You know, for example, a person would say, buying me flowers and making sure that when I come home, you massage my feet, I feel loved. It's not like love is massaging or love is flowers, but it is a substance, it's an expression of love that sits well with you. And that's the first thing that I think with our marriage we struggled with. We had an idea of how we wanted our marriage to be, individual. We had expectations, you know. This is, I mean, I remember the other day we were talking and you're like, you know, you were in the kitchen, I think, preparing us food, and you're like, no, come and sit with me in the kitchen. But, you know, I feel good when you're here. And
I really, it's not like I want him to do anything. I don't want him to chop the veggies or anything.
But just to be.
Yeah, just for him to be in the
for
kitchen.
you, that image is very important. That image of us being in the kitchen, having that. And until you said that, that's when I realized, okay, this is serious.
Although he still doesn't do it as much. This guy leaves me, guys. He just leaves me.
No, let me tell you why I leave the kitchen.
Yeah.
This woman can cook, right?
No, I don't want you to cook.
No,
obviously.
wait, listen.
Da-dum-dum.
She can cook. Like her meals, whether she's making breakfast or whatever. Now, the thing with her is when she cooks, for it to be that nice, she takes her time. Right?
Oh, okay.
Now, me when I'm in the kitchen, when I'm hungry, I go to the kitchen. By the time she's done cooking, I'm done eating.
And it's not a good idea for him to be in the kitchen. Because, okay.
You get it?
No, it's a good idea, but at the same time, it's not. Because this guy will be pricking, eating the food. By the time I'm done cooking, I say shiva, I say kinyama.
And sometimes it's not just the food she's cooking. Sometimes you find she's there, and I'm standing there thinking, okay, I see this, I eat. I see that, I eat. I see that, I eat. I pick up a...
And he doesn't really want to eat food. Oh, no, okay, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Excuse.
In the kitchen?
Yeah, so
That's fun, in the kitchen. Unless she's there.
I'm also a piece of
so no, it's a piece of meat. So it's that kind of a situation where now it wasn't communicated well. What are your expressions of love, or me telling you what is that? What is that famous book? What is my love language?
Yes.
You know, that kind of a thing. Because I'll give you another very practical example. She would see that I'm stressed, right? And genuinely, my wife would just come and go like, baby, everything will be fine. And she would want to hold and just give me a hug and tell me everything will be fine. That's not my love language when I'm stressed. Yes, it's not my love language when I'm stressed. When I'm stressed, I need my space. I don't want to be all that kind of a thing because I think I shared this before. My senses becomes overly hyperactive when I'm under pressure or I'm stressed, and the best way for me to be able to deal with anything is just to have a few minutes with myself where I can breathe it through. And it's just, these years after our first year of marriage that now we are communicating
and we're actually
these kind of
discovering
things,
that.
and we are discovering that, and it really cuts off a lot of fights
And unnecessary tension,
It's that's I think it's just the communication. Yeah.
Like there's so much unnecessary tension that just gets cut off and everything. And so that's the second thing that baby.
Yeah, that's the,
for you.
Yeah, it's just those kind of things that I think were things that were making us to get into these fights. And the other thing, of course, it's our background. We really can't run away from the fact that when you come into a relationship, you come with leftovers of other relationships. Of course, people will tell you, I've gotten over my ex, I've gotten over my experiences, I've gotten over this. Yeah, of course you do. But what you don't understand is every relationship takes away a piece of you.
Not even sexual relationships only. Relationships, your growing relationship, your relationship with yourself takes away from you. Your relationship with your parents, relationship with your family members, relationship with your brother or your sister, it does take away a lot from you. And sometimes by the time you get into marriage, you are so drained with so much that has happened, and you come in there, you actually think it's time for me to rest.
Yes.
I have come to a peaceful place where I'm just going to rest. God did not know you would say that's where really the work
now begins.
Yes, the work
starts. That is very. What was your worst fight?
The worst fight that we've had. Okay, wait, I need to think about that. Okay.
I have three.
Alright, what was the first one?
That stance of you jumping out of a moving car. Hey.
Baby, I think maybe we can talk about that later. That can be another video, okay?
No, yeah, I think, sure. We've had that fight. The other one is the one, where we went to just have breakfast in Wimpy. And we are fighting while eating on each other's plates. And
that was a nice fight.
No, it wasn't a nice
so
fight.
Professional, so emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, so those were fights, but more than anything,
Mina, I think the worst fight that we've had. Okay, I don't remember the fights, but I just remember your expression when you didn't even want me to hold you or something. I was just like, baby, I'm sorry, and then you just became cold towards me. And I think I felt so hurt because I felt really rejected, because siyala mara umuntu manje masengasafuni ukuthi akubambe. I think I was really hurt. I was really hurt by that. I think it is in several of our fights. It is in a few of our fights. We've had that in a few of our fights, right? Yeah, where you just decide to.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I had to really work on, especially in my marriage, is being able to open up. And in a fight, being able to talk more.
Yeah, you've come a long way, yes.
Because with me, it's like I had a war, a serious Mexican-US war that prevented tension, I thought, but it was creating more tension. It's a war like the moment you want an argument with me, I'll lock myself up. And she likes saying, I've become emotionally cold, where I just don't want to respond to all those negative things that are out there. And you could see her frustration in that, because the more I keep quiet, the more she provokes, and not because she wants an argument, but because she just wants to hear my mind.
Yeah, and that's all I wanted, because I think from me, I'm not an introvert. I'm not an introvert, I'm an extrovert. So I wanted him to talk more, whereas he wanted to be quiet more.
Yeah.
Personality differences, guys. That's what the personality differences.
Those are personality differences, and I think now I'm better.
Yo, babe, not even better. You are amazing. Come give me a kiss. You are so great.
I think that
give me a kiss. Oh. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. So that is. I know. I had to really. Not I had to, I'm still learning that side of instead of holding back, letting everything out. I think, and it's a good thing, because I think that's why now our fights are different. Because today when we fight, everything about that fight remains in that fight.
I mean, we had a fight like a few days, 2 days ago, ne? Yeah, 2 days ago, and
we didn't have a fight. We had a misunderstanding.
Okay.
In our first year of marriage, we used to have fights. There's a difference.
No.
Not physical fights, but
like
now
like fights in the emotions, like fighting with emotions.
Now we are able to construct our arguments in such a way that we learn something from it. Those days, it was just telling each other where to get off.
And another thing that I've also noticed now that has really that really messed us up in the first year. You see, when you're fighting with someone and you are doing this name calling, name calling, guys, no man. No, that's who you are. You're a pessimist, whatever, narcissist or whatever. Even though you know that your partner has those weak characters.
Don't mention them when you are hot.
Oh, yeah, don't mention them.
You can mention them. You have to, so that the person knows what.
You have to. So that you just go like, hey, babe,
okay, so
babe, you've got such a short team.
Let's demonstrate how you used to fight. Right?
Demonstrate? I don't want to. No, babe. I don't even remember. The first year, I know how we argue now. But the first year, Baba. Yeah, I think this camera wouldn't be able to record what was happening.
Yeah, so I think that's really what took a toll during our first year of marriage. And I think also the other thing is just being able to adapt. You said, I think in the previous segment, that it was to do with our vows needed to be tested.
Yes.
And I think that on its own
carries so much.
Yes, it does carry so much. And look, you get into it's a new world altogether, where you have all these unspoken expectations. One thing that helped us though was we didn't isolate ourselves. In all our fights, we didn't isolate ourselves. I know we had
our friends, man.
We just go like, guys, we are coming, or guys, come this side, or whatever.
And we'd be so honest with what was going on.
Yes, and we realized that they are fighting more or less the same similar kind of fights we are fighting.
Like our arguments, what we're going through is not something that's unique.
Yeah, and when you isolate yourself, you're going to think.
Know that, yeah.
You're going to think no other couple, if I had stayed with my previous boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe would not go through this. You would go through this.
I remember we even went to Theo and Tembi as well, the Gobelis. And
we were laughing.
And we were laughing, guys. I think these people, the way they spoke to us that day, we went to bed, we were like, wow.
It's
wow.
She's not psycho. I'm not a bad guy. It's just a normal fight that comes with adjusting in your first year of marriage. And that really, really, really did help us. Where we looked at each other differently and going like, because I think when you isolate yourself, you begin to identify the person with what you're fighting.
Exactly.
No, you're acting your cold emotionally, don't have emotions, whatever. And then she's talking like that, you're like, no, but this is like, why would you be talking like this? And then you get to realize,
then the fight becomes him.
Yes, becomes her and all those kind of things.
Yes.
But having friends around, and not just people, friends around, because
real friends.
There are people who just, I mean, I heard there was a couple that said they've never fought ever, whatever. There are people who've never fought ever since they were married. Wow, like that's a blessing.
Wow, guys.
But
if you're watching
at that particular moment, we didn't need that. We didn't need a couple that didn't
That's
fight.
perfect.
We needed a couple that knows how it is to be able to argue and fight and be able to, our friends, and when you hear, the systems they have put in place for them to just work out a very beautiful communication model. You would learn from that and go like, oh, okay, so this is what's working for these people. And you come back and you say, okay, how do we construct a model for us to be able to communicate? Because I think if you've read our book, The Kingdom Cup, one of the things we talk about is the biggest issue with communication is approach. If your approach is wrong from the start, no matter what you are going to say, it will sound wrong.
So it's important to be truthful about what you are going through.
Yeah.
Be truthful about what you are going through as a couple, so that you can get help.
And also being able to understand issues that are underlying in your subconscious. I have my wife who was really just struggling with depression, and there are things that were not supposed to be a fight, but they were a trigger to those moments. I was still dealing with the death of my mother. There are things that were easily said. I've had to live alone for quite some time. So I've been this person who's very hands-on. So, and here's a person in my life, and I'm thinking, okay, now at least now she will help me do this and that. But she doesn't know that I'm expecting to do that. So understanding those dynamics and underlying issues emotionally, mentally, spiritually, is right now what is really just helping us be in that space where you're like, okay, there comes baby, there comes, and you can exactly, and now you are able to handle it in a way different manner. And I think as you grow, you get to realize I can't do without my wife. Like with me, like honestly, I can't do without my wife. Even driving to a shop, sometimes when I'm like, babe, I'm going to a shop, I'm just expecting her to go, let me change, let's go together.
Yeah, and he says that sometimes I don't want to go.
There's a time she doesn't want to go. It's like, okay.
I don't want to go with him.
I'm driving alone.
I know what he does there. This guy is so manipulative. Okay, no name calling. Yes, no name calling. But he just likes to do like emotional blackmail. So I go like, okay, babe, we have a bill, as Uncle Ham, and then he says, he just went like, okay, I'm coming back now. He just changes his face,
yeah,
and then I know,
I'm crying in my heart,
and then I know,
come with me.
And then as he changes his face, I'm like, alright, baby, wait for me, I'm coming. I'm like, yes.
I'm like, yeah. So it's those kind of things. I think also as your marriage progresses, just make sure you don't kill the seed before it germinates. In your first year of marriage, and don't, like with us, that's when we frequent a nurse spread. We would go to nurse spread every month, every 2 months, just to go and be around, elders.
And forgive each other.
And forgive, because I remember after all these things were said and done, it's like one day we just came back to our senses. I know we were having midnight prayers, and we just went like, let's pray for with and for each other. We have said so many things towards our marriage, towards each other. Can we now be able
Start
to...
on a clean slate?
Yes, and the best way to do it is on the altar of prayer. Let's not go to God and ask for forgiveness. It's not God who has offended who. Let's ask for forgiveness from each other.
And you did that.
And we just held hands and we were like, baby, I'm sorry for calling you this. I'm sorry for approaching our fights this way. I'm sorry for misunderstanding you. I'm sorry for, like with me, I'm this kind of a person I'm very romantic. But when it comes to getting things done, I need things done. And she feels like I'm hard, I'm harsh. And it's just an apology of that to say, I'm sorry for being harsh, for not being empathetic. Even when you are going through this or you feel I misunderstand you. And on that day, we really just said our forgiveness in that atmosphere of prayer. And also spoke blessings on each other. Because so much fighting for a year, will cause the enemy to come in and try and convince you to start thinking evil about the other person. Now you are not even excited when achievements are made. You are not excited when another person progresses. And that's not what marriage is. When she wins, I win.
We both
When I win, she wins. That's our motto, that's our principle, that's how we are approaching this life to success and everything. And you can never celebrate someone, fully celebrate them and just recognize their giftings and honor their differences if you still have grudges in them.
And I can truly say, I for one really hurt my husband by the things I did and by the things, I spoke, even before our marriage, when we used to have real big fights that damaged him as a man, especially with us women. I think it's something that we should always be aware of.
Yeah.
When you speak to your spouse, when you speak to your boyfriend, when you speak to your husband or the person that you are just pursuing a future with, it's important to guard your mouth and the things that you say to him, because later on they will germinate, because words are like seeds, whatever you say, words are seeds. Whatever you say will come to pass in the subconscious with the way he behaves, with the way he acts, and women, we have the power to say really spiteful words when we speak. We can be really spiteful and really bad. So it's important that we guard our mouths, guard our tongues, and just let love rule, let love lead, let love lead. In the first year of marriage, it's really not easy, and it is rocket science.
Becoming one is never easy.
It is rocket science. Like it's hectic. But knowing that you guys have a goal that you are working towards. And another thing, baby, what I also want to learn, in closing, you should have something bigger than just a relationship.
True.
True. Something bigger than just the love that you share. That's
something bigger than legal sex.
Yes, that's how we birth the Kingdom Couple and the Kingdom Couple Foundation. Because you know, we wanted something that would keep us alive. We needed something that would give us meaning. In marriage, more than anything, you need meaning, a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose, a sense of a goal that you're working towards. So if you have that goal, you wake up every day knowing that, all right, we have to work towards something. Our mind just busy needing to, you know, we can fight 1-2 hours. We know that we got to get to work. We got to create amazing videos for you guys. And so that purpose becomes a driving force for our marriage, for us to prosper, for us to carry on. Yes. Thank you guys.